to another day, another stream. I hope everybody's day has been going well on this Saturday afternoon so far. My day so far is going alright. It's been going good. All I've done today is relax at home. And then me and my dad just got back from just running a quick errand that had to be needed. But yeah, now I'm back, and I thought I would stream with y'all for a little bit, since right now I am not doing much at the moment. So I thought I would take the opportunity to come in for a little bit and we all chat. Yes. Hey Mel, how are you doing? But yes, last night was wild. It was a wild one for sure. But hopefully you're doing well. But yeah, as we're continuing to get people in here, please be aware to be respectful and mindful of those in here, but also be sure to be welcoming all of our new incoming subscribers that will be coming in here shortly. And respect all my mods, because they work extremely hard to get us to this point, and you know, they even help me a lot, making sure we keep the stream active, you know, and not just it looking bad. But yeah, so also at some point in the live stream, feel free to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates from my channel that y'all don't want to miss out. And also when I go live too. So, you know, just at some point, there's no rush. Feel free to. But yeah, we're just hanging out. So ask questions, say hey, you know, just chat. When I'm live, y'all, mine's more of a just talk and chat kind of thing, unless if I come up with something fully, then it might be a whole different story. But the majority of mine are more like a talk and chat kind of thing. So we just, you know, we just come in, say hey, talk about all kinds of stuff. You know, talk about our day. Kind of like if we were all having a conversation ourselves, but in a more interesting way of it. Sorry, I was turning this light on I'm gonna have it on for a few minutes, because it's gonna make me hot probably after a while. But also for some of you that I've told, but to kind of give you guys, hang on, let me do something real quick. I'm making right now. I'm going to a party later. Okay, that's cool, Mel. What are your plans for the weekend? My plans for the weekend, I mean, so far I'll tell you, today kind of is just a hang out, chilling kind of day. And then I'm gonna, at some point this evening, I'm gonna try to text my neighbor to see if she can pick me up for church tomorrow, since I couldn't go last week because my boyfriend was out here, and so it was trickier to do it and stuff like that. But yeah, and then hopefully if I am able to go to church, then tomorrow I'll be going to church, hopefully, which would be from like 9 to 11, but I say that because because I'm also a part of their life group there, because I mean, y'all, it's Bible study. Like, I'm a part of their church Bible study group there, and so yeah, so I usually go there, like I leave at 8:30 to get there by 9, because that's when it starts, and then service starts at 10 to 11, and then I'm probably back here probably by 11:20, 11:30 at the latest. It just depends. Or if something is happening at the church that might go an hour, it'll just depend. But the majority of the time I'm back here by like 11:20, 11:30 in the morning. So, yeah. And also for some of you that are wanting an update on AJ, so for those of you that are coming in here who don't know, much about what's been happening. So just to give everybody a refresher, because some of you know this, but not everybody does, that even is returning. Just might have not heard much. But about a couple days ago, so around Thursday, my boyfriend had surgery to get a cyst that was under his right wrist removed. And I'm glad he did, because I told you guys that I guess there were 3 in that one cyst that, and from what he told me, if he were to slap it with anything, then it would have ruptured or something, or it would have been a lot worse if he did. So thankfully he didn't do that, because if it did, it would have been probably worse than what I would be telling you guys. But yeah, he got that removed Thursday, and he told me it went well, so that's a good thing. And then I talked with him that same night, which, y'all, just so you know, he only was there for maybe a couple hours, just in the earlier hours, but then I forgot what time he went home. But yeah, and of course, he and I did talk around 9 o'clock that night on FaceTime, which is what we would do when we do call, is we both talk on FaceTime together. And y'all, I'm gonna say it again, because just saying it makes me think about it. But when I heard kind of all the things that he has to be in the sling for basically the next couple to a few weeks, it's kind of hard, I'm not gonna lie. And honestly, y'all, I was not thinking I was gonna cry after we got off the phone. So we talked like any morning, like usual, which went well. And then when we got off, a couple minutes after that happened, I literally started crying. And more of the love care kind of way, not the bad cry, for reference. But it's one of those things where the person you love and care about a lot, and y'all, our parents are the same way too. This is an example of that. Is let's say we're her, we get injured, or we have to go through something, and our parents are a mess. They literally have that feeling where they feel like crying, because they don't want to see us in pain or suffering, but they just want to help us so bad, but they can't all the time. And so in couples, it's the same way as well. And even with me, it was hard knowing that for what I had to see. Oh yeah, see, I'm yeah, get used to it. It's fine. I showed true side Stu on here, not just showing my actual where I am side. So there are times I am showing my actual emotions too, not just acting like I'm masking it. But yeah, and so just crying for a couple hours of that night, it just, I was a wreck at that point, because it was just, it's hard for me to see him like this. And I'm thankful that the surgery went well for him, but I was not suspecting he was going to be he had to be put in a sling. And it's crazy, y'all. A lot of things have just been going through my mind these past couple of days, and all that. But yeah. Yes, y'all definitely continue to be praying for him, because prayers are going to really be needed for him and myself, because even I've been kind of all over the place for a couple days, which right now I'm on day 3 at this point. But yeah, it's going to be one of those things that is going to take just a couple of days just to get over. But it's more of just the love care kind of situation, not anything serious. But yeah, it's good to hear though, that it went well. That's right. But yeah, I'm glad too it did go pretty good overall from what he's told me. But and y'all, we did talk on the phone yesterday evening too, which went well. He actually, y'all, what I was surprised was he was still able to actually because he also plays video games and stuff like that. I was shocked he was able to literally be playing one of his video games, because y'all, like, there's a lot of games that you have to use like you have to use all sorts of like controllers and stuff like that. I was surprised he was able to still use his gaming controller. Literally, I mean, I'm shocked. Like, I was shocked that he was still able to do it a little bit, which I was actually surprised. Because, you know, if you think about it, it's his right arm that has to be in the sling right now. So there's not a whole lot you can do. Unless if you're right-handed, that's wholly different. But he did tell me that he can do some things left-handed, which I was shocked. Not everyone can do that. I can't always do that. I mean, with me, maybe some things I can do left-handed, just thinking by two, or just small things. But for example, writing and stuff like that, I'm right-handed for all those. And so it just takes a lot of nerve to really do that. But yeah, and so I was surprised he was gaming and stuff like that. And he did tell, and of course I asked him how it was doing, like if he's in pain at all, like, and all that. And he said he's still in some pain, which, I mean, I would think that would be the case, because especially a surgery after that, it would hurt for a couple days at least. So yeah. But y'all, I'm just so proud of them, and especially for these past couple of days, because this is, like, even for me, I'm proud of myself too, because I was not expecting I was going to start making myself a mess of myself, but also at the same time pushing through it. But I mean, there's been a couple days where I've cried a couple times, like yesterday a couple times happened, and then right now I'm just now kind of starting to cry a little bit as I'm explaining it, which I don't care at this point. It's just, you know, it's just the love way. It's not anything serious. But yeah, so definitely keep continuing to pray for him, because I mean, you know, it's one of those things where when you come out of just any surgery, really, and for some of the people that love you to death, it's just hard on them to see you suffer like that. Even y'all, and actually a thought did come to my head, I think yesterday. Y'all, I would know for one fact, I know AJ would be similar, because y'all, if me and AJ were to get married in the future, within 5 to 10 years, I would know for one fact he would be kind of in a similar state if he ever had to hear that either I went into the hospital either because if I had a seizure or something medical happened to me, you know, or anything scary that just happened. I know he would be in that similar state that I'm in right now. And because, y'all, he loves me as well, and all that. But yeah. But like I said, I'm thankful I haven't had to be in the ER since I was like 13. Because, y'all, when I was 13, actually, this was right around, like, a couple days around before I found out I was diagnosed with scoliosis. But the reason why I ended up in the ER at 13 was because I think it was spring break that this was, or something like that. And we were just either spring break or it was almost summer. But we were just on a normal getaway just for a few days and stuff like that. We were around this area, but not in here. We were just like maybe a few minutes out from here. And they also, at this place I went to, they had a pool, but nothing really much you think about. And then the day that we got back, it was more for me, it was more in the middle of the night. So it was like, so technically it was almost Friday night that I was just sleeping normally, and all of a sudden in the middle of the night, I don't know what time, but sometime in the middle of the night, I woke up and just started throwing up out of nowhere. Like, trying to make it, of course, didn't happen. I'm like, I'm gonna go back to bed because I had not had the nerve to get up more. So then I go back to bed, wait a couple minutes later, I go again, go to the bathroom, throw up again. And then I think I chilled out for the remainder of the night, and then I let my parents know what happened. And so they helped me out by cleaning it up and stuff like that. And I mean, y'all, sometimes I am one of those people where sometimes I don't always feel like waking my parents up, not a lot, because it's just a me thing and all that. Because, I don't want to make them feel like they're tired or anything, even though they would be happy to help any time of night, too. Even if it means taking a couple minutes of the night to help clean just a small thing up, And I mean, there's a lot of us that are like that. And so, then Friday comes around, and I was just sick all day of Friday, and I couldn't keep fluids down. I couldn't keep anything down, really, like the entire day. And so, so all day I was even throwing up quite a bit on that Friday, and then, fast forward to that same night, we were trying to see if I can drink like some Pedialyte to see if that kind of helped, but again, kind of couldn't do much down. And at that point, that's when my parents were like, hey, how about one of us take her in to get her checked? And so my mom drove me to the ER to get checked out, just to see what it is and see what could be causing it. And so I was probably in the hospital probably till about almost 4:30 in the morning, at least almost 4:30 a.m. on this day, which the thing is, I had IVs in me, of course, and just felt miserable and all that. And so they were like, hey, how about we do this? How about y'all, we'll discharge y'all, and if I seem like I am still not feeling good by tomorrow, bring me back in, and then we'll go from there. So next day, which is a Saturday, comes by, and next thing I know, I'm still not feeling good still, but the thing is, I luckily wasn't throwing up not as much. And so, my dad decided to bring me in again around the evening just to make sure to get checked out and all that. And so, of course I did a urine sample, which came back, I think, normal, luckily, which is a good thing. And then I also went in for a CT because I think my dad also brought up the fact that they noticed that I had, like, my back, like, they did notice that I did have like a little bit of a lump in my back or something like that. And then so a few minutes into that, I go back to get a CT scan of my body to see what's going on, but also my back too. And again, they didn't find much, but then they're like, hey, we also just scheduled an appointment for you to see your pediatrician on a Monday to also get checked as well, to keep all that going. And so that Monday, I go into my pediatrician and let her know what was going on. And then I went back for an x-ray of my back to check. And I think it was later that same day or almost the next day was when I found out I had scoliosis. Yeah. But, yeah, it was when I found out as well I had scoliosis on top of all my sickness and stuff, which I think mine was more like a stomach bug situation that I had too. Yeah, and so even when I found out though, when I had scoliosis, I was like, I'm like, what if I literally had the what ifs, y'all? Because, you know, scoliosis can go so many ways. Like, it can go from having a brace or surgery, or just, you know, the worst of it. And I'm like, what if I can't do gymnastics again? What if I can't do this? What, you know, what if I need to have surgery? What if I need to have a brace? You know, those what ifs that can go on in your brain through all of that. Hey, I'm gonna get a water while I'm talking to you guys. But, so I forgot what day I went in, but I went into an orthopedic doctor, which was, not that far out, to see, because, I mean, I went into, Scottish Rite Children's Hospital to get checked as well, and even for them to kind of see, like, if I needed to be in one of those two, or just see what it looks like to get a visual. Luckily, y'all, when I went in, the doctor said that I didn't really need a brace or surgery, so I was, I was relieved when I heard that. I'm like, praise God in that moment. And luckily, y'all, my scoliosis curve was actually not that bad than you would think it would be. So in my vision, like, if I vision it in my head, like, if I drew it out in my brain, from what I remembered seeing it, it was more like this slight curve straight up. So only line go up just a little bit, like just like a small C curve, like this, and then straight up. And that was it. But yeah, it's crazy how I still remember that. But yeah, that's my hospital story from when I was 13, y'all. But yeah, like I said, that was the last ever time I was in a hospital ever. So right now, I'm thankful it's been that long. And y'all, I hope I am not in a hospital, not anytime soon, for anything medical or anything wild like that. Cause, you know, a lot of that is just crazy to believe. And then, yeah. And I was telling AJ too, because, for example, when we went on our date when he was out here, I told him that I was under anesthesia twice, because I had my wisdom teeth out, y'all, when I was in 8th grade, because, I was in my braces phase at that time, like, I was in my 2nd round, and, it is likely, not all people, but it is likely sometimes for you to get your wisdom teeth out when you're also in braces, because sometimes it does slow down the progression a little bit. And so I'm glad I did, because then it definitely went quicker after that. And then I told him also, because like I said, y'all, I'm an epileptic, and I had brain surgery about that when I was about almost 2 years old, just to control all my seizures and y'all, honestly, that's how I'm living to this day. That's how I'm literally living my life these days. 19 and a half years later, I'm standing doing the things like I'm walking, which is a thank goodness moment. But turn this off because it's getting hot. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's one of those things that you look back and just see how far you've came through all that. But yeah. But yeah, it is good news though that it did go well for him. But yeah, pretty crazy. So, what else do I know? Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's crazy with stuff like that. It's just, Oh, thanks, Mel. Yeah, I mean, Mel, from what I'm saying right now, a lot of that is insane. Because it went from, let's just say this, from my disability background, let's just say it went from my parents going from the what ifs to questioning themselves, like, what if she can't drive? What if she can't get a job? What if she can't do this? What can she do that? The things that parents think. when they hear that their child is diagnosed with some sort of medical condition that might affect their life. But sometimes, y'all, doctors sometimes might say that it could be that, but sometimes they might just prove them wrong. They will just be wrong 99% of the time. And really, we really just proved those doctors wrong. And like I said, I'm standing here talking, walking, doing the things you would think to happen. Like, I graduated high school last year. I'm now dating and stuff like that. I even did sports back in the day. So there's a lot I have done in my life, in my 19 years, that I am beyond blessed. And just, But I mean, even though, y'all, I'm also one of those people where I do have my good and bad. I do have good days and bad days, but I sometimes don't try to let it defend me for who I am, though. Like, an example, y'all, like last night, it was more back and forth of just feeling down with AJ, but, just last night kept me that little bit of distraction. Just felt pretty good to let loose and all that. And y'all, I'm almost 20, so it's wild to believe that each year it's crazy that each year so far since right now, like, I'm not, like, y'all, I'll be 20 in October, but it's crazy. But like I said, when you get diagnosed with any sort of medical condition that might affect your life a little bit, don't let it actually affect you. Because sometimes doctors can say that you might not be able to do any of these things, but you will actually prove them wrong. Like, you'll prove their point that you actually can do it. They just intimidate us a bit to actually try to believe it. It's just, that's what life does. Life gives us targets. Like, life is honest. Actually, the best way I'm saying that to you guys is our life is a target where we approach it, and we're trying to believe that we might be able to dart at it, but we can't. But we can prove it wrong by actually showing that we actually can do it. And I mean, at the end, like I said, at the end of the day, we will be able to prove those people wrong, because we're not just people who just stand and live in silence and just feel invisible. We actually are regular human beings, but we either learn things differently, or some parts of us are just different. Everybody's not the same. Like, y'all, that would be weird if we all were like this, like if we all were the exact same right now with nothing. And sometimes a certain medical condition might give you a little bit, just a little something. But not all medical conditions are bad. Like, y'all, even though with epilepsy, it's a medical condition where you will get seizures off and on and throughout, but hey, if I take meds and stuff, it's chilled out. Like, it can chill out. But there's also times that even if you take meds, you can still get them. But all you can do is get your next, because the thing is with epilepsy is you'll have like a diet stat or even nasal sprays and stuff like that, like I use. And so if I did have a seizure past the minimum amount, which usually is 5 minutes or longer, or if I have 2 back to back, then it can be administered into me, and then I can get into a hospital possibly as well to get checked to make sure I'm doing okay. And that's the thing. Medical conditions, you have stuff too. Like, you have like urgent things. So if that medical condition of yours literally gets worse than it's supposed to, it's in front of you, so it kind of speeds up the process a little bit. But if it fails multiple times, that's when you call 911, get in the ER, and they help you out, get you back on your feet. Like, y'all. Another thing too, in our future, when we are gonna be with our future husband and wives here, they won't know what to do too, because they'll learn all the things of what they're supposed to do in cases like this. Like AJ will eventually possibly learn all my stuff whenever it happens to me. If I have a seizure around him, or if we're in public and if he notices I'm having a seizure, but he's trying to get my attention, but I don't know what's happening because I'm having a seizure at the moment. And I don't know when a seizure approaches me, but other people can because they see what's kind of going on, especially for people who have learned about seizures themselves or have watched a ton of videos on it, you know. And I mean, y'all, an example of that actually is 4th of July. I'm thankful I didn't have a seizure on this day, but let me just say, the fireworks in my area 4th of July were wild. Like, some of them, even though they're not strobe light related, but I swore a couple times, I thought that night was going to be a life or death situation. Just because of how, like, flashy some of them were. And like I said, fireworks are not like they're not like strobe light related, like not solid. But like I said, I'm thankful my boyfriend was with me, and there was also a ton of adults around. So if that ever did end up being the case, then my boyfriend can grab one of the adults that's nearby or around, and they would know what to do. Cause that's the thing too about having people around too, like. That you're around, like if you're at a party and you're gonna know you're gonna be around other people that might know this stuff. That's the best thing that you have, because like I said, what if I were to have a seizure in public, which y'all, thankfully luckily that's not happened to me since high school, and let's say my boyfriend and I were at somewhere and I had a seizure and he goes crazy on himself and he does not know what to do, grab an adult nearby because they know how to do it. And and plus my boyfriend will start to eventually learn, because like I said, if he and I end up being married in the future, he is going to learn from my parents of how all of my diet, stat, and nose spray stuff works. So if he ever encountered me having a seizure when he's trying to get my attention on something, then he knows what to do if I have a seizure that goes past this much, or if I keep having more. And that's the thing, is with medical conditions that can be fatal to serious, that's why you learn a lot of that some point early, at least somewhat early, before it's too late. Because the last thing that needs to happen is I end up seizing, which, y'all, sometimes epilepsy can be deadly. Not all the time, but sometimes it can. But the last thing that needs to happen is I'm having a seizure, no one's not around me. Like, it's just me, either in the house, or I'm just somewhere alone with no adult supervision, or even I don't need supervision, but if in case, I can't just sense, I'm like, oh shoot, I'm having a seizure right now, which I wish I did, because if I did, that would be helpful for me to be like, okay, this is what I need to do. I can chill back, And and also, the thing is, with my seizures, the best way I'll tell you guys how those work is, let's say I'm doing something, or let's say if I was with a friend and we're hanging out, or if I was with my boyfriend and we're hanging out somewhere, and we're just, we're having a good time like any ordinary, and next thing I know, I wake up in like the bedroom, or I wake up in the living room, or in the kitchen, any crazy spot where I was not before. That's the best way to tell you guys that. And I would literally go, what happened? And someone nearby can tell me, you had a seizure. I'm like, what? Because when I was younger, y'all, that's what I would say. Mostly every time when that would happen. But when I was a sophomore, and it happened to me, I did not say any of that, which I think was weird to me. Like, I thought someone was trying to test me or do something crazy to me. Like, I was kind of I was like a smidge kind of confused more than I would be back in my younger years. But then when I was in the car, my mom told me, I'm like, what? And then because y'all, and also when I had that seizure that year, I was dating my ex at the time. And I mean, y'all, he was next to me when it happened. So, I mean, he did luckily got the teacher involved, and she got everybody else out of the room and to a classroom next door to where they were out. But y'all, even what's kind of crazier too is my now boyfriend, who I'm dating, also was in the same class with me. And knowing that both of the guys I dated had to encounter that. Literally, they both had to encounter that with me, which is like wild. But yeah, and to me, it's still as crazy to say that my now boyfriend is dating the girl in the seizure incident from sophomore year. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to believe that. I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, this just goes to show that certain medical conditions and stuff like that can get they can get pretty wild and kind of fatal quickly. But let me get a water break because I'm talking like crazy. But yeah, so pushing my phone like this. But yeah, man, voice crack. Excuse me. But yeah, and even another thing with me too with my epilepsy is I do get constant dizzy spells and headaches. But that's more, like I said, it's more medication side effect than seizure related and stuff like that. But luckily with some of those it's pretty simple, because if it's a headache, take a Motrin like you would any ordinary headache you would do. And then if I start getting a dizzy episode, I can just lay down. I can just lay down for that much until it passes on, and then continue like any ordinary human being. And y'all, actually, let's just say this. When my boyfriend was over here, let's just say I've had a ton of downs that were going on. Like, there were points I was having headaches and all that crazy jazz around him. Like, I was in extreme pain. Like one day I had crazy pain, crazy cramps. And then another day, started getting dizzy at one point. And then the day of our date night, like, we were at our place, and a few minutes before we left, I started getting weird vision. I don't know why my vision was acting up, but my vision was acting so weird when my glasses were on. Like, they were going blurry all of a sudden while they were still on. So I don't know if something reflected towards me and acted funny, or the fact I was up till like 6 a.m. and all that jazz. And so luckily when we got back, he and I got to lay down together, and especially it helped calm me down and all that stuff. But I mean, y'all, there's a ton of things that can happen. Like, there's literally a lot of things that can happen in like seconds without knowing. But let's do this. I'm gonna come over here real quick. But it's gonna work out. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you literally do a lot. But yeah, you guys keep asking me questions and stuff like that. But yeah, we're just chilling, we're hanging out. But chill for a little bit. But yeah. But yeah, for those that are coming in, y'all can feel free to ask things. Especially for what some of you have heard me been talking about. Because, you know, that's a lot I have been saying to you guys. Especially. And so, there's a little miss. But yeah. Whew. Just got myself a workout there. But, excuse me. What is your diet like? It will just depend. So for example, like in the mornings I will eat a blueberry muffin or just like a blueberry muffin. But also it does depend on our grocery status too. Like sometimes I'll do cereal on occasions, but not often. But the majority I would do like a blueberry muffin or the majority I do blueberry muffins because they're really good. And then lunch, it'll depend. Like for example, like sometimes I'll do like fries and stuff like that with a corn dog, which is too good. But then if we also have like onion rings or something or tater tots, I would do those too. And then dinner would be kind of similar and stuff like that. But yeah, that's just what me it's like. It's nothing too wild. But man, voice crack. I am sorry, y'all. It's just been talking so much today. But that is a good question to definitely. Yeah. So, but I see we have our second person who's in here. Anyway, but yeah, for me it just depends, because depends on the status of our groceries and all that stuff. Alright. Yeah, that's a good thing to do, is ask and kind of get visuals. Like, definitely for example, blueberry muffins are really good. Like, they're a really good breakfast option because, like, let's say if you're in a hurry, like, you only have, like, maybe 20 to 15 minutes or so to be out the door. It's literally an easy eat and go situation. And all that, like, for example, like, I get these pretty good ones from Walmart, and they're really good as well. But yeah, they're really good. But yeah, but muffins are a really good grab and go kind of thing. Because, it's like I said, it's just a grab, and then you take off or eat and go. And it's simple. And also it's good too, because if you don't want to eat a lot, you don't want a lot in your system, but you want something, that's a good option too. Which they're awesome to have. And they just give you a good flavor as well. But also lemon muffins are really good too, because they're also pretty good, and it's the same amount of good. Oh god, I had too much. But yeah. So we're just chilling, y'all. Man, I have had so many skinny longer hairs just popping in between. Either my bangs or outside my hair, but that's because I don't have my hair clipped back. Like, I don't have my clips right now because, I do have quite a bit of hairs I like to slide out of place half of the time, but that's just what it does. But yeah, we're just chilling. But oh yeah, look at that. Oh, we have 3 people here. Let's go. So if anyone is new here, welcome. And if you're a returning guest, welcome back. At some point, feel free to like and subscribe so you won't miss any updates on here. Especially if you're getting into it. But all we do on here, y'all, is we just talk, we chat, we ask questions. You know, it's literally a daily conversation in here. I mean, sometimes I'll do something specific. It just depends what I feel like. But 99%, the majority of the time, it's more just of a talk and relax kind of stream. Where we just talk about the day. We talk about all kinds of stuff. You know, ask questions. Kind of thing. And, you know, it's good to pause for, like, a few minutes and stuff like that, because y'all, as young adults and teens, we are busy sometimes. Like, there's gonna be days where one of us here is gonna be either getting ready for an event or work, or we just had a long day of all of it and just need to wind down, you know, because, you know, we all come from different time zones here. And so, I mean, y'all, for me, I am trying to, right now I'm doing a lot of my working process through Texas Workforce Solutions, which is a program for people with special needs like myself. And so, after a good couple years of trying, at this point, I am just getting help right now. And it's really the best way to do it, I'm not gonna lie. Because for me, it feels like I'm somewhere, and it doesn't feel like I'm at first base and stuff like that. It feels like I'm at, like, second base right now, which is good. Because, you know, I want to feel like I'm somewhat step ahead than behind. And, you know, I'm almost 20, so I'm like, you know, it's important to get all that. So, but I'm not in a rush, though. I'm not rushing my brain to go straight into it. But, yeah. But we're just chilling. Oh my gosh, look at these just a little stupid hair wanted to keep coming in my face, which like I said, the weird skinny hairs, I seriously hate when those just come right in my face. Like, even a lot of my girls can relate to that too. It's like, you know, I do hate it, like, a lot. But, yeah, and actually for some people that don't know this about me, I actually did have bangs in my childhood years, for at least for a couple years in my childhood years. And then got them back, and then decided to go back to them when I was more in, like, yep, I had bangs when I was younger, like, basically toddler to some of my kid years, and then I don't know when they were cut off or just done with, but then I brought them back around, like, middle school going into high school. And I'm glad I did, because y'all, I feel like I look a lot better in bangs than I do without. And you know, it just makes me look older. It just makes me look good. And I mean, there's not that many people that can pull off bangs pretty good as me. But I just like them. And you know, it just brings a little bit of a cuter, you know, thing on me. Oh yeah, look, just the thing. Okay. There's a lot of things you can do about it, you know. You don't have to always go straight to bang kind of thing. And y'all, with me, I'll show you guys. I don't think y'all can see it unless I say, like, for example, right here, y'all can see that. Gotta squint. So, for some of you, I've told you I've had brain surgery when I was about almost 2 years old. So right here, they had to put a screw into my brain right there to hold a lot of everything in place. And so, even that's kind of one of the, I mean, I'm not like insecure about it. It's just, you know, just one of the things about me that it does cover up too. So, and that's good because, I mean, if somebody were to approach me in the future and get confused with all that, hey, it's covered. But it's just so nice I personally keep up. But, yeah. And so, that's just what it is. And so even that's the best part of bangs too, is it covers it. So for me, it doesn't make me look too crazy everywhere else. But bangs for me just bring the cute. Like, it brings the cuteness out of me a little bit. To where it's not making me go wild. But, yeah. So we're just hanging out. But, okay, we have 3 of you guys in here, but who the heck out of 2 of you is not talking? And, yo, this is one of the things, too. If you're coming in here, do say hi so I know you're in here. Because, you know, for me, it's kind of sus for people just to be watching without saying anything. You know? It's just creepy, I'll tell you that. It's almost as if you're trying to stalk the channel, which that's not cool. But, like, for example, if you're somebody here who's actually talking in the chat, perfect. Or be like, hey, I'm here, or just let me know that you're doing something, so that way I know, okay, I'm not thinking you're a crazy person, you know? It's just the thing you gotta do. Like, hey, I'm here, I'm just doing something in the bedroom, or I am just fixing something really quickly, so if I'm not responding, that's why, you know? Keep me in the loop as well in the chat, so this way I'm not going, hey, where's so-and-so at? Or why is this person not saying anything? You know? It's just helpful for those people. Because, you know, it is kind of weird once in a while when people do that. Like, yo, I wouldn't do that. I would not do that in a person's stream at all. Like, I would say hey to everybody like I would any ordinary. But if I not do it back, sometimes I'd be like, hey, if I'm not responding for this amount of time, it's either because I'm doing this, or there's something that is on my schedule that I have to do that only takes like 2 minutes, you know? So it's good to keep a lot of that in the loop, so that way, you know, we're not going all over the place with all that kind of stuff. But yeah. Alright. I'll definitely see you out and about, Mel. But hopefully your party goes well. And yeah, I'll definitely... Yeah, if you end up can't make it tonight, I'll definitely let you know how it goes. Because I'll be on it once again. Because, I mean, the majority I'm able to be on there because I don't have a whole lot going on. Unless, you know, something does come up. That's a different story. But, yeah, so hopefully your party goes well. And have fun. But yeah, now we're just chilling, y'all. So, for my people who are still in here, you know, we're just relaxing. But, oh man, And how is it, man, how the heck is it 2:01 for me right now? That's crazy. Like, it's already 2 o'clock for me right now, which is crazy in the afternoon. So that's crazy. But I mean, y'all, time flies, so that's what happens. And stuff like that. But, yeah. So, well, just chilling. But yeah. So, what is my thought? Be right back. Let me just do this real fast. Sorry guys, I had to plug my phone in. And I'm also gonna water real quick too, so. But yeah, for people who are coming in here, please make sure you are saying something in the chat so I know you're in here. Because if you're, like I said, if you're coming in here just saying nothing, then who the heck are you? Because that's honestly, that's almost as if you're trying to stalk this channel. I'm not gonna lie, because that's what stalking people's channels looks like. It's just watching a live and just sitting there and saying nothing, because it's stupid when people do that. So if I were you, I would not do it. Just to recommend to those people. But yeah, so we're just hanging out, chilling. I might be on here for a little bit, which yeah. But yeah, right now we're not doing much at the moment, so just feel free to come in here and ask questions and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna come in here and start chilling for a little bit. But yeah, we're just hanging out at the moment. But yeah. So, yeah, feel free to come in here, ask questions, yeah. Like I said, all we're just doing is we're just talking, saying hey to each other. You can ask questions and stuff like that too. Which it doesn't have to be anything specific. It just, like I say, all I recommend with questions though, y'all, is don't ask anything stupid or inappropriate, because let's just say we've had people before who come in here and do that, and I am not a big fan of people doing that. And it's just dumb for idiots to do that. And that's not how I play here. Like, I don't play like that at all. So if we're gonna get somebody who's gonna come in here and literally try to act like a fool of themselves, then one of my mods will kindly kick you out, because I don't tolerate any sort of behavior like that. And also don't be negative in here too, because even I don't tolerate negative people, or people who are just gonna get on my last nerve. Like I think in one stream, which was not recent streams, but it was a while back ago, that somebody was in here flirting with me in the chat, which their stupid mind they don't know I was taken. Let's just say that one person almost had me on my last nerve. Just because of what they were doing. So, yeah, let's not try to do that or try to get me to that point. Because if that ever does have to happen, whew, y'all don't want to see that side of me. I mean, y'all, I'm only a 5'3" shorty, but y'all, us short people don't mess around. Like, everyone should hear, y'all need to look up, y'all need to watch videos on your social media, because they will tell you that if we're short, we're not gonna mess around like that. We don't play around. Like y'all, like I said, I'm 5'3", and I ain't messing around with you today. I'm not messing around with anyone tomorrow, not even for a year. Not yesterday. And not a month or day or month after. It's not any day of the year I'm gonna be messing around with people. So that's why with me I have mods in my stream, so if any of that does happen, they can get them out immediately and not it being me doing all that. Because y'all, I'd rather it not be me blocking and muting y'all, because if it did, that would just be one less. That just takes another extra time off my time with you guys, because I'd rather not spend 5 to 10 minutes on a stream blocking, muting people, than when in those 5 to 10 minutes I could have just been talking to you guys like this. And so with mods, they help me out do that, so I can still interact and talk with you guys without having to stress my own brain out to do all that. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, we're just chilling right now. But anyway, yeah. It's pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. So, but yeah. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So, we're just hanging out right now. We're just chilling. Nothing really too wild, but, it's just what we do. And so, sorry, I'm yawning. But yeah, it's like 2:10 over here right now, just crazy. So, anyway, I mean, I've kind of been on here for almost an hour. For at least almost an hour. But, yeah. So, we're just hanging out. But I'm gonna give this live maybe a couple more minutes to see if we get any other people in here. And then if we don't, I'll end it. And stuff like that. But, yeah, so I'm gonna give it just a minute or two to see if we get somebody back in here or someone new comes in here and says hey for a little bit before I end this, because I would hate to end it and not others trying to show up but came late. So yeah, we're just gonna chill for a little bit. Yeah, I'm a little tired. But yeah. So See, like, I'm like half worn out right now. You know what? Let's just do this. Look how cute he is. I miss him so much though, even though it's been a couple days. But, yeah, look at him. Yeah, we just look so good. Oh my god. And then again, y'all, hang on, no. But y'all, in this photo, why do we look like such adults? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, we looked so good in this photo. Like, y'all, he was in his polo. Like, he was in this polo top. I was in this cute top. This cute little shirt. And then, y'all, I was wearing leggings in this. And he was wearing jeans, which, oh my god. And you can see a little bit of far now, but basically, y'all, I was wearing... Y'all, what's funny is these heels I was wearing, I was surprised my feet weren't killing me. Normally they do, but I think it's because if I wore more hours, it would. But, yeah, just look how cute we are. I can't. I'm bored, but I'm just showing you guys pics. That's what we're going to do for a minute. And see if we get people. Because I swear somebody just popped in, but I don't know if they were talking or not. So. And then, y'all, here's me. But, y'all, why do I look kind of good, though? Like, I'm not gonna lie, why the heck? But yeah, that's me up close. But yeah, like, I was wearing foundation, blush, and powder in some spots just to make my skin really show, but also to hide some of the weird spots too that were from, like, just from my foundation. But yeah. So, yeah, pretty crazy. But, and then let's see, another photo of us two I will show y'all. Is this one of us two? Which that was us in the boat, which, oh, it's so cute. Little y'all, he's just too adorable, I'm not gonna lie. But, yeah, no one did not say hi in the chat. I'm like, I know I just saw someone in the chat for like 5 seconds. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I miss him to death though, but also at the same time, I'm thinking about him a lot because, like I told y'all, these past couple of days for me, it's kind of been a little difficult because he had surgery to remove a cyst that he had where his wrist was located, and so yeah, and I was not thinking I was gonna cry afterward. Like, I wasn't thinking I was gonna cry because, y'all, we were on FaceTime the night of when it happened. But he was already home, though. Like, I don't know what time he got home, though, but y'all, luckily he wasn't in hospital overnight, so it's a thank relief to me. But, yeah. And, I mean, we were on the phone, we were on FaceTime like any ordinary, which went well. And then a couple minutes after we got off, that was when I just lost it. Because kind of from what I saw, it kind of hurt me inside knowing that he must be going through a lot of pain right now. And it did kind of hurt for me to see him kind of in the state that he was in. Like, he has to wear a sling. Like, he has to wear a sling for I asked him how long, but he doesn't remember. So my guess is anywhere. My guess though is probably anywhere from a couple to a few weeks at minimum. I want to say that he has to wear it, probably. But yeah, it's just these past couple of days, it's just kind of been hard to really think about it and stuff like that. But like earlier in here, I was crying a little bit, which a couple of y'all saw that. And then even yesterday, some I was crying, and then the actual night of, I was crying like quite a bit at night. And yeah, it's just it's really hard to process though. But yeah. So yeah. But anyway, that's what's going on there. But yeah. But hopefully, but yeah, you guys, I'm probably gonna go and get up because I don't think anyone else is gonna come in here. So I will be back on Monday to stream more with you guys, but also do stay tuned for content and stuff that does come out. Cause I still do content on the days that even if I'm off streaming, I still post content on the other days too when something comes to mind. But anyway, I'll see you guys back here on live on Monday. So have a great rest of y'all's day or night or evening wherever you're from. So